Hey, you guys. So I just wanted to quickly come on here and talk about how it seems that people can really easily see discrimination, prejudice for what it is, like easily, immediately spot it when it is a cartoon of some kind of animal that's been made, more human-like, that's been humanized, like, a Disney character or something like that. It's always so easy. Or like even something as outlandish as like an alien, like, a Star Wars saga story, or, Avatar, or, even something as like creepy as Alien. Like there are people who, have sympathy for the alien creature and this, that, and the third, and see it as cool and all this other stuff. Like, people are so easily able to see a dynamic like what presents in Star Wars and see all of these people together. They're able to make these outlandishly weird ass looking creatures, that are otherworldly, humanistic creatures. They're able to have obsessions like, adult pornographic obsessions with furries and other things that are, if you don't know what a furry is, it's basically when people romanticize and sexualize animal creatures in human form. So like a human looking dog or a human looking cat or something like that. And, they make it really sexual and romantic. And, people are able to do that. I mean, there are people out here having sex with animals. I mean, it's just crazy to me because it's like people are able to do all of these things and humanize all of these experiences, and see discrimination and peg it for what it is when it's not black and white. But when it's black and white, boom. There's a movie that I watched in my sociology class in high school called Pleasantville. It's one of my favorite movies. I love that fucking movie. With Tobey Maguire and the woman who plays, I think she's the same woman who plays in Heroes. The cheerleader chick who can't get hurt in Heroes. And they're brother and sister, and they're fighting over the remote when their mom is gone during date night one night. And he wants to watch this old black and white show called Pleasantville. And she wants to watch like something more tomboyish and more like, modern and up to date. And it's set back in the time when the movie was made, which I think was the 90s. And they break the remote fighting over it. So then this like random guy, coincidentally in a remote truck, pulls up with a universal remote that he gives them to use for the TV, and they fight over it again, and they end up pushing a button that gets them sucked into the TV show that the TV was last on, which happened to be Pleasantville, Tobey Maguire's, the brother's favorite show. So they get sucked in. He's immediately in love, and he just loves the world because it's so perfect and black and white. And it's like, it's set in the black and white time. So it's set in the 40s, 50s when, things were a certain way and proper and civilized, or what they want to call it, or what they want to call that. And bit by bit, their presence there, especially the sister that, totally out of step sister with this whole reality, they get to making people do things that are out of their character. It's mostly the sister, but even Toby does it sometimes unintentionally. And these are things that are out of the character of these particular characters on the show, but it's also out of the character of the reality that they're in. Because it's not just a TV show there, it's an actual world where the characters actually believe that they are, living in a world where this is their reality. So, the more they rebel against their reality and what they're supposed to be doing, the status quo of that world, that black and white world, the more it becomes colorful. And it starts to become like, instead of black and white, like in color. And then you end up with this dichotomy between people of color and people who are black and white. And it's really creative, especially since they only have like one black person in the show, like this old man who works in this, cafeteria style shop or whatever, this diner or whatever. And it's just a lot. But basically there's this dichotomy between the, black and white people, who would basically be the white people, and the colored people, who would basically be the black people, and the, non-white people. And it's just crazy because it's just like, as much as I love that show, I know that they made that show specifically because they knew that white people would, being the majority and the ones who have the power to change a lot of these things in society, would be more receptive of a story that featured them instead of us as the victims. That's why Les Miserables, is, was such a big hit before it was, made into a movie, and people ended up hating it. I never saw it, but I didn't really have an urge to see it. And seeing how badly people have reviewed it, I'm never going to watch it, I don't think. But it's just crazy because it's just like, it's another one of those stories of like, you can see it in Star Wars. You can see it in, between aliens and humans. You can see it between aliens and humans in Avatar. You can see it between, and that's another point too, that, people love people with blue skin and aliens and all these other creatures, find them so attractive or cute or, special, but black people, which there is the argument that, we're fetishized as well in that way, which we are, but outwardly, people don't genuinely show that they actually appreciate us in a positive way. That's not just fetishization or something like that on the whole. People do, obviously, but most people say negative things about black people. So it's just funny to me because it's just like, I've always noticed stuff like this since I was a kid. How people, I'm going to make a more, coherent piece about this, an academic piece about this through my podcast, Lens Bins. It's LIN'(S)BINS, Lens Bins. It's on Spotify, Anchor, Overcast, anywhere you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. But I may release a filmed episode where I delve into it more academically and write something up and stuff, but write up a script. But for now, I just felt like I needed to, say something about that because it's something that has always weighed heavily on my heart throughout my life. And it really does upset me how people are able to see some of the most outlandish things on TV and empathize with these characters, but they can't empathize with a black person when we get on TikTok and we say that we're being killed and we don't like it or we need reparations. Like Barack Obama, literally just the only black president, the only president who was not a white man, to be more specific, passed more legislation for Holocaust descendants, Holocaust survivor descendants, to get more money from the, experience that people went through, endured during the Holocaust in 2012. But some of these same Jewish people and other white people and other people who are not even white, including some black people, feel like are fighting tooth and nail so that we don't get reparations. What is the matter? Y'all need to stop. Play with your mama.